Two types of criminals. Today, we're going to be discussing two types of criminals and why they're not equal offenders in our neighborhoods and in our society. In the TikTok before this, I addressed the fact that not every concept that needs to be named and needs to have a label has a label, and that sometimes we deliberately name certain concepts unnamed in our language in order to prevent people from having a way to articulate or a easy access word to name a certain pattern that they're seeing. For example, we did not have a word for colorism until a black woman had to coin that. We did not have a word for misogynoir until a black woman had to coin that. And without marginalized communities coming forward and breaking the narrative that only certain people in proximity to whiteness can define things, we would not have words to describe these very well needed concepts that needed to be articulated. So back to the two types of criminals. One criminal is a criminal at heart, a malicious person who isn't amenable to reason, care, or integrity. A criminal at heart will steal when there's no logical reason to do so. He will steal simply for the cruelty of it, simply for the enjoyment of it. And when we think about actual criminals who are a threat to our citizens and the people around us, these are the type of criminals who we actually have to focus our efforts on in terms of punishment and deterring the harm and damage that they will do. But there's another type of criminal that is often confused with the first, and that type of criminal needs a different approach and a different way to be handled, because their criminality is not the result of internal maliciousness or wanting to hurt other people. Their criminality is the result of the poor conditions that they were shaped by. Our government deliberately sometimes manufactures conditions and situations and inequalities that produce broken people who are scared, who are put in scarce situations, desperate, and sometimes have no other choice but to survive and steal from the people who are simply in proximity to them. And this is something that needs to be distinguished. We need to distinguish between a real criminal versus a broken person who is simply shaped like a criminal, because those two things are not the same, and we definitely need a delineation in a separate language for the latter, for a person who doesn't want to steal but has been in survival mode so long, has been pushing, has been trying so hard that they have no other choice but to do what they have to do to keep themselves alive. Yes. Okay, so the next time you hear someone talk about needing to be tough on crime or needing to punish criminals or us needing to use excessive surveillance, punishment, disinvestment of marginalized communities in order to, intimidate them and threaten them into not being the inherent criminals that they are, maybe you should ask them, is that person doing this because they want to, or are they doing it because this environment that you manufacture for them produced this type of person and produced this type of scarcity and desperation? Ask them, is this really a criminal, or is this a broken person through scarcity, through desperation, who is simply shaped like a criminal? We need a word for that. And while I think on that, I just wanted to put this out there.